Hi guys, what's going on? And welcome back to another episode of Total War Arena. So we are continuing our Greek cavalry grind with Alexander. So if you remember at the end of the last episode, we'd got the tier 3s fully upgraded, and I was just doing those last few battles to get up to the tier 4s. So I finished off those last couple, and we have arrived at the tier 4, which is the Citizen Cavalry. Now I really enjoyed the tier 3, I thought it was a really good unit. Despite the fact I think a few people think that they get better later on, I actually really enjoyed it at tier 3, so hopefully that'll continue up the whole tech tree. So I know nothing about these tier 4s, I have not researched them, I haven't done anything with them at all. I've got them and then left it for the start of this episode because I want this to be the thing we're sort of going through together rather than one of my sort of review videos. So all I've done is I put the same consumable, the Thessalonian Steeds, which is the impact damage, the melee attack and the morale. It's easily, I think, the best consumable for the cavalry. So upon clicking on here, I notice a few things that are different. Firstly, it looks like we've got a cavalry dash now, which is something we didn't have at the tier 3, which is always nice. For a 5-second movement speed buff, always handy, you know, certainly not going to turn that down. And the spear that we researched at tier 3 is actually available at tier 4, and I think it's going to give us a massive increase in spear length. Which it does, which is awesome. So that is a great starting thing to have pre-researched. So definitely for the Theban cavalry, you might as well research that from the start. No reason not to. Other things I was looking at is possible other things that might be researched for the tier 5. We have got to research this piece of body armour, which is just some more cloth. Everyone seems to wear cloth. No armour seems to have yet made its way in. Helmets and little greaves. So I was looking. I think the helmet, the brilliant bow, that one, is the same as the tier 5, and it looks like these greaves here might be as well for the movement speed bonus. Ornate greaves. Yes, so we've got the helmet, the brilliant, the helmet is worth researching. So we'll get these two if we research them in the tier 3. But the next helmet, this helmet, oh god, why do they have such complicated names? This one isn't researched in the next tier, so there's really no point in getting that, particularly considering it just gives morale and view range. But for this one, for 3,100, I'll probably get that. So we'll probably come down here, get that one, and get the helmet, and then head towards the tier 5s. So now I've finished chatting absolute rubbish, let's hop into a game and see how we get on, basically. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Have Alexander got any skills to research? Yes. So we've got all his tier 4 skills still to research. So impact damage on hammer, or movement speed, or activation time on anvil. We'll probably do impact damage as an opening one. We can have a bit of movement speed. Go on, we'll have one movement speed as well. Now let's queue up a battle, and I shall see you all in the battle. So we're loading into Hadrian's Wall. It looks like we're top 2. Oh no, there's some tier 5 slingers there. Just spawn down here for now to see where everyone else places. I'm always hesitant of going a side that's like becomes solely cavalry mix, although they've ended up with quite a nice mix of swords over there. We've got some tier 4 Romans, some tier 4 archers, barbarian archers, and then we're over here. So we'll perhaps have a bit of a look at this side, see if there's anything there initially. See how it sort of plays out. Okay, so how do these guys look? I've not actually seen them in the field. They look very similar to the Theban cavalry, don't they? They do have wonderfully long spears. So let's just get moving up, see what we can see. This the Romans obviously going through the gap, which might be an error because these archers are going to be quite isolated on their own, unless they're going to intend to pull back down over here. I don't mind pulling up to the centre a bit to try and get some visibility. See, like these archers have kind of made themselves a bit vulnerable there, although they're driving those brigands off by the looks of it. Yeah, we'll push up the hill. See what we can see. Move into the capture point. Whoa. So there's some archers pulling back down there, which are kind of vulnerable on their own. We've got some enemy Hastati who are trying to escape the enemy arrow fire, which is fair enough. Just waiting here, providing a bit of spotting for our allied archers at the moment, giving them a bit of safety. Looks like those enemy archers are going to completely pull away. So I was just trying to see if those raiders were going to come for us, but they're not. Those archers down there look kind of vulnerable to me. Because all they've got to face off against is these raiders. So I'll form up against these raiders. If these guys want to fight, I'll give it to them. We've baited out my charge. Well, we got a few of them. Oh, watch out for the Romans. See, this is why I end up blobbing when things get a bit tough like this. Gonna have to hammer him. Oh dear. Okay, things have gone a little unintentionally not so well. We got a nice charge off there, I think. Looks like we did quite a bit of damage, but we got into a fight we didn't really mean to. Our archers have now been driven away, and these guys are all engaged in a fight down here against these raiders, which we don't actually seem to be doing quite that well against. Let's anvil some of these guys as they try and escape. This guy could really do with getting out, but if we've got friendly archers shooting into the back of these horsemen, we'll do quite a bit of damage. Let's anvil one of them. Okay, these guys are pulling out. We did quite a bit of damage to those guys, so let's pull back, regroup. Oh, they're turning back on me, so let's turn back again. Oh, wait, let me activate anvil. Let's get these guys moving up. Come on, guys, quickly now. To try and get some flanking. I know I'm blobbing again. Okay, so they're pulling back properly this time, and I've not got a returning anvil. So let's move into here. Let's see if we can support these Hastati in here, because it looks like there's quite a breakthrough in here. Let's get these guys quickly formed up if we can. And let's get lined up nicely. Early charge. Now we sort of clashed into each other. That's why I shouldn't be blobbing. Things like that, really. If we can get these guys to rout, that would be kind of cool. And -5 morale. Doesn't look like we're rear threatened by anything ourselves at the moment. So they're going to rout like that. I'll try and apply a bit of pressure on them. They're mostly pulled back to safety though, so I think we should be getting out of this fight now, because obviously we're just fighting Romans, which is not what we want to be doing. We did quite a lot of damage to those routing guys because they're trying to rout through allied units. So let's, while we've got a bit of time, reform up. We've got 6 seconds till our charge is back on all our units. So let's sort of reform back up. We'll sort of come in like that. Activate the charge. We didn't do a lot of damage there, unfortunately. I don't think it's going to be enough to really do anything in much. There's too many surrounding friendlies. Okay, let's pull back. I think we've done all we can for this fight. Our allies are going to be winning that one, so that's not a problem for us. We've got quite a bit of some enemy elephants down here as well. Quite a bit of threat down this side. And it's going to be hard for us to deal with. So let's pull back and see what we can do. So some enemy Hastati on the edge of our base there. Well, we've got quite a lot of enemy archers down here, but there's also all the elephants and enemy cavalry. I don't know what we're going to do against these elephants. It's going to be tough. Let's keep moving. So I've stopped. It's hard to commentate and think what to do at the same time. There's quite a few archers here that are kind of exposed, but not really. Let's see if we can create a bit of an opportunity pushing around this way. I'm mostly making myself a little bit vulnerable by exposing myself to these enemy archers when there's enemy infantry, because I don't know if I'm definitely going to be able to score a sort of an attack that I want to. Let's see if we can get ourselves. I'm going to send one unit in here, look, like that. Oops, they've not charged early enough, so I've ended up sort of unintentionally. Oh! There we go, we're going to get the hammer into the side of them there. Ooh, that was not quite as I intended. Okay, these guys have got engaged in some Romans, which I didn't intend to do. Let's just anvil them so they can't follow us quite the same. And push around that side. These guys, wow, have found some elephants. See if we can get out of that one. They're taking quite a lot of fire, so I'm not going to go for them because I haven't got a charge back. Our other units are trying to just get out of this. There's enemies everywhere. Okay, so we're just trying to engage these raiders. We've been obviously rear flanked by enemies because these guys are trying to go for the enemy archers. Although these guys are now trying to pull back out. See if we can anvil one of them. To hold them in place. We've got to also worry about our allied base capture because we're going to run out of ticking points in a minute. We have got our anvil back on everyone, I think, or bar one. Let's trying to just sort of form up something. I don't know what we're going to do against those elephants, though. I don't think our charge makes any difference against them, unfortunately. Let's just get a nice line up. Looks like our archers are getting some good fire now on those elephants, which is a good thing. I don't want to be engaging the Romans, really. Oh dear, well, they've kind of sandwiched us. They've done a good job here. What are we going to go for? Elephants or Romans? Let's go Romans. Nice early charge. It's not really going to get us through though. Activate anvil. See if we can get any of our units out because we're just going to get rear flanked by elephants. We're not going to be able to do anything against anyone else if we get caught in this spot. Pretty poor play on my part because, oh god, there's enemies around here as well. It allowed me to get sandwiched in that gap when I shouldn't have done. I'm now going to take a lot of archer fire. I think this is the end, guys. trying to avoid the archer fire, but I've only got like 2 people left. Oh! Ah, that was badly timed dodge. Yeah, there's just so many archers around, it makes it very hard to do anything. Having elephants on their team obviously gave them a massive advantage over us because, you know, particularly for base capture and this sort of thing, obviously they'll slaughter these starting. Look at that knockdown. Yeah, it's very hard to defeat them when one team has them and the other team doesn't. Although obviously it is possible. A bit unfortunate, I don't think we have any javelins or anything like that to counter them. It's probably a bit unfortunate with the matchmaking there. Our last few people sort of valiantly fighting on. I don't think the enemy's really got much in the way of cavalry, but there we go. We've lost that one for the base capture anyone. I don't think we did particularly well there, although actually we got top player, so it could be worse. It's probably not actually that bad opening game. I didn't really check my stats out that game at all, so I don't know how well we did. Let's take a quick look. So we got 2-6 on the aggression. Not a lot of defence, obviously. A bit on spotting and support. That's probably when we initially at the start, when we were giving support and spotting for our friendly archers, got us a fair few points. So it wasn't such a bad game, I don't suppose. It's a shame we couldn't sort of do a little bit better towards the end. Maybe take out some of those archer units. I don't think some of my charges were particularly well timed. But there we go. Obviously nowhere near enough experience to unlock anything yet. So let's press straight on with the next match. Let's see how we get on. So we are loading into the Battle of the Capitoline Hill. So obviously things didn't go too badly in the last game. But hopefully things will go a bit better this one. We'll actually win this one. We're sort of top tier with tier 4s and 3s. I'm going to go there. Yeah, we'll see. We'll start here. I can have a little look down here. It depends really what spawns. We've got quite a lot of artillery on our team, so that means more than likely the enemy has also got quite a lot of artillery. So that's something we've got to watch out for. It doesn't look like we've got a lot of support on this flank. 1 unit of low tier pikemen and some cavalry. So we'll move up, see what we can see, and then probably just retreat until things pan out a bit. It's quite a tight map, Capitoline Hill. So I don't know, I don't want to get stuck into an infantry fight or anything like that at the start of the game. So I'll just move up a little bit. We can probably move up a bit closer than this, if I can actually... Not up there. Ah, so some our equivalents, some more other citizen cavalry there. Just pull... I'm not going to obviously engage them going up the slope. Our catapults are probably setting up. I see some catapult men down there, yeah. So those guys have gone for the hill, which is probably the better place, really. I'm kind of inclined to agree with their move. Or am I? If those guys were going to set up here and there's nothing covering the bottom because those cavalry have gone up there, then maybe it suddenly becomes a better opportunity. So, let's just push along here, see what we can see. If our allies could engage those enemy pikemen, that would be a very nice move. Let's push up here. Obviously we're safe from enemy ranged at the moment. We've got to watch out obviously for catapults. Looks like these guys might have actually just engaged, in which case this is a stellar opportunity. And we'll try. We're trying to get a nice little bit of damage in there. Some of our troops stopped a little bit early. I don't think this is really going to do us a lot. But it's going to get these guys to rout, which is what we really wanted. Hopefully we're not going to get hit by enemy artillery. Obviously kind of vulnerable. We're really clustered now, back facing to enemy artillery, so we're a prime target for enemy artillery. But not been shot yet, I don't think. I think we've got a little bit of friendly fire from just a stray boulder roll from friendly artillery, but not worried about that. So let's attack these remaining hoplites. I think time to get out, actually. We're taking quite a lot of damage now. Obviously they've turned round on us. Oh, look at that damage we took. That was a lack of attention on my part, particularly against the tier 3. We didn't really want to take that much damage this early on. Just make use of our cavalry dash just to nicely get out and get a bit of momentum going again. But we have won that fight. Those guys are going to lose. I don't know why our archers are in that fight as well. Let's see if we can find anything of this enemy artillery. Often at lower tiers, people tend not to protect their artillery quite the same, both in terms of allies, and people tend not to take a sword unit or an infantry unit with them to defend their own artillery, so can be some good opportunities. But we'll just have to have a look around. I'd expect it to be around here somewhere, really, but I can't see anything. There's some unspotted units yet, which suggests to me that there should be some enemy artillery around here. Ah, there it is. Now, is it defended? That's the million-dollar question. So let's send that unit that way, and this unit this way, and you that way, and see what we can see. Okay, they're all making for the forest. Oops, probably charged a little bit early there. Let's try and get through these. Let's anvil one of them. We're struggling a bit with forest forest issues, as is always the way in bloody forests. Got a second one, so we can probably anvil someone else. Let's just have a go. See what we can hit over this side. Let's try and kill these farthest ones first before the enemy cavalry turns up. Oh, there's only one left now, so that's not a problem. So there goes the enemy artillery. That was a fairly easy kill. You know, poor bloke didn't stand a chance really. On his own with no defence. Let's watch out for these raiders a little bit. Let's send our cavalry that's got his remaining charge. We should be able to intercept them mostly, which he was. These guys, no, couldn't really get a charge out of them. I tried to make use of a charge. But with us being high tier, even with the enemy artillery up on the hill over there, we should be able to win this one. The raiders seem to be trying to pull through us, which is a mistake on their part. Because they're routed. And let's try and get these. And looks like we've got friendly cavalry going for the enemy artillery. Although the enemy artillery has almost wisely split himself up into different spots. So they can't all be attacked at once. Because look, we've got enemy artillery rounds, I think, coming in from over there. We'll go and have a go at this guy up on the hill. See what we can do against him. Looks like our friendly cavalry should be able to deal with this guy, as long as he doesn't rout in the meantime. I'm just gonna blob. I know you'll hate me. Oops, not a. Okay, that wasn't a particularly staggeringly good. Right. Oh, enemy raiders are turning up again. They're going to get a charge in on me, probably. A bit late on their cavalry charge there, so it didn't do so much damage. These guys are trying to escape. These guys I'll just assign to focus on the enemy raiders, but it looks like we're going to capture their enemy base. We'll have to make an anvil so something can't escape. Looks like we're going to win through base capture anyway. But, oh, that was actually quite a nice game. I always find you get an excessively large amount of aggression points when you target enemy artillery, which seems something strange. I don't know why, but you seem to. And we're a top player again. Look at that, double top player in the row. Doesn't happen with me very often, particularly if you watch my learning how to try and play hoplites video, which didn't go so well. So yeah, score-wise, 4-8 on the aggression, which is pretty cool. Gave us sort of 5-7, similar total points to we got on the previous game. Yeah, not too bad. It was mostly from enemy artillery, so it's probably doesn't like that guy. That guy just made a run into the forest. Bless him, you know, he didn't stand a chance, did he? I mean, that doesn't really require any skill on my part just to run down a fleeing artillery crew. Obviously, it was nice that those enemy hoplites pushed forwards and allows us to get round into their flanks, which is cool, and managed to rout one of them as well. So I think that was a pretty decent set of opening games. I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm going to save up for the fancy half lino thorax first at 5,500, and then we'll probably do the greaves because it gives the slight increased movement speed, and then we'll get the helmet last before pushing on to the tier 5s. I noticed while we've got a bit of free experience, we might as well do some of Alexander's skills. We'll upgrade his charge mostly, which is what I'm mostly interested in. Knocks up his impact damage 23% now. So those charges when he slams into the enemy infantry should start to do a really good amount of damage. So, hopefully you've enjoyed sort of episode 3, I think this is, on our grind towards tier 10. We are getting there. I'll probably do... Yeah, there's not really enough to upgrade, so I'll probably do another episode once I've got these 3 things upgraded, as we start to grind then towards tier 5. I think when we get into the higher units, we'll start having 3 or maybe even 4 episodes per unit, where, you know, we'll start when we first get the unit, then as we get some of the initial upgrades and so on as we get it more upgraded until we get onto the next tier. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a like. It really helps the channel out. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about the series, and I shall see you all on the next episode.